Hi guys, welcome back to Pragmatic Politics. I'm Colby Cons. So today we're just going to be talking about the vice presidential debate that happened last night between Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. And I'm going to preface this first by saying I don't think this changes anything. I don't think the debate really changed voters. I don't think it made people switch sides. I don't think the vice presidential debate ever really makes people switch sides. It's just there for show, just there for another person to be talking, another face for the administration. However, we're still going to go through it, still going to do a little analysis and tell you my thoughts. And I think that Kamala Harris probably won the debate. Barely. I think she could have done a lot better. I think she could have pushed back against Mike Pence a lot harder multiple times. Especially when he refused to answer any question. I know both of them refused to answer some questions. Really, Kamala just avoided two, where Mike Pence probably avoided, I think, like 7 of the 9 questions. He literally didn't answer them. The moderator asked him a question once, and he's like, "No, I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to go back and start." And she said, "No, you need to answer." And he's like, "Nope, I'm not answering it." He literally said, "I'm not answering that question." It's crazy. But people will think Kamala Harris was the one who didn't answer as many questions because Mike Pence called her out on not answering the question about the Supreme Court. He said, "So you're not going to answer that question? You need to answer the question." And of course, she never did, which I think was a good move. She really did a good job avoiding the question and bringing up Abraham Lincoln, who is America's hero. And I think that story about Honest Abe was a great pivot, a great talking point to sneak in instead of talking about packing the Supreme Court. I think she actually did a good job with that. I think she could have brought up how 4 years ago, Mitch McConnell and the Republicans refused to fill a court seat for a year when Obama was president. She should have hammered that home a little bit more. But the Honest Abe thing was good. I definitely think that was a great thing to pull out at the debate. There's no winning that for Mike Pence. But when he called her out for not answering the question, that stuck in people's mind. I think most people who are casually watching the debate, not people who are watching me, I think if you're on YouTube looking up political commentary or political talk shows, you're going to catch these things. But for the average viewer, they don't really realize when politicians are dodging a question or pivoting. And so when Mike Pence brought that up and hammered that home, that's what people went away with. It was stuck in their mind like, oh, Kamala Harris didn't answer the question about the Supreme Court. So when Mike Pence avoided 7 or 6 questions, Kamala Harris should have been the one to do the same back to him because it was clear that he was dodging so many more questions than Kamala was. And the moderator was terrible, did not hold either of them accountable for the rules. I mean, Mike Pence probably got almost close to double the talking time Kamala did because he just kept going past the time. And the moderator would just thank him. "Thank you, Vice President. Thank you for talking over me. Thank you for going over your time repeatedly every single time. Thank you for not answering any questions. Thank you, Mr. Vice President." Terrible moderator. She really needed to be firmer. She really needed to hold Mike Pence accountable for not answering questions and accountable for going past his time every single time. But like I said, Kamala needs to be the one because the moderator's not going to do it. She needs to be the one to call him out for not answering a question. She didn't do that. So I think Mike Pence that was good for Pence and the Trump administration in that regard of the debate. However, the bad parts about Mike Pence is that, for one thing, I don't know, something was up with his eyes. They're like all red and like beady looking, and like mucus or like liquid was like dripping out of one. It he looked like a rotting corpse up on stage. And when the fly landed on his head, oh my god, it just reaffirmed it. Like, this dude is literally a pile of garbage. He's a rotting corpse. Like, his eyes are red. He's got flies landing on him. Like, it was not a good look. And that probably lost the debate for him, straight up. Not because of anything that was said or done, or he literally had a fly land on his head, and that's going to be all that anyone talks about. It's going to be a huge meme. It's going to take across the internet, and Pence lost the debate simply because the fly landed on him. Honestly, I do believe that will be the general consensus. He will look bad because of that, and just by looking bad, loses the debate. Kamala, I think she needed to be more aggressive. I think a lot of left-leaning people, a lot of liberals, a lot of progressives wanted her to come out firing, being aggressive, calling out Pence, calling out Trump on their shit, just for hammering home the fact that 210,000 Americans have died from coronavirus because of that administration and their failures. She should have hammered home that they're not dealing with ISIS or Russia. I mean, I like that she brought up the Russian bounties, but bring that up more. Bring up how Trump talked bad about our soldiers more. Bring up how multiple generals, General Mattis' advisor, resigned saying that Trump was doing such a terrible job. I mean, Russia literally put bounties on our soldiers' heads. And Trump never talked to Putin or Russia about it once. Never brought it up to him. Has never mentioned it. That's insane. Russia was paying ISIS to kill our soldiers. Trump doesn't care. So she could have brought that up more. She could have brought up the deaths of coronavirus more. But, you know, I get she was trying to abide by the rules of the debate more, where Pence just ignored them, just talked about whatever he wanted. So, I don't know. I think she could have done better. And I do understand, right? And I think most people understand, like, this was planned. She did not come out aggressive for a reason, and it's because Kamala Harris will be judged by the public a lot different than Donald Trump or Mike Pence will be. She is a woman. She is a black woman, and if you are a black woman in this country talking down to men, being aggressive, interrupting them, they will not like that. They'll think you're being too uppity. Like, it's the truth. I'm sorry. Like, the system is broken. People have implicit bias still, and they will not like a black woman being aggressive and talking down and interrupting. And so I think she genuinely took the advice, probably, when she was training for this debate and preparing. Do not do that. Do not interrupt him. Do not be abrasive. People will not like that. They were clearly targeting a very specific section of voters. You could tell because she repeated that line, "Excuse me, I'm speaking." She said that a couple times to the debate, and I think that's a sign that this was practiced, this was planned. She wanted to assert that feminism, that how dare you interrupt me? You know, it's my turn to speak. Men have been interrupting women for thousands of years. It's not okay anymore. So she was targeting that suburban females, suburban moms, suburban women, and younger women with this tactic. She wanted to come across as the polite, however, very firm on not being interrupted, on getting her time to speak, on being allowed to talk longer because Pence was talking longer. I think it worked well. I mean, if you look at the debate, if you look at the polls, Kamala had like 68% people think she won, and only like 30-something think that Pence won. That's huge. And when you go through and look at the different demographics, men basically were 50-50, like 48% Pence, 48% Kamala, 46% Pence, but women were way up. A lot more women think that Kamala won the debate than Pence did, and it's because of these debate tactics. I think she pulled it off very well, repeating the line, "Excuse me, I'm speaking." I think it was all planned to target a specific demographic and to come off a certain way in this debate, and it worked. I think that alone is what won her the debate, and the fly landed on Pence, landing on that rotting corpse up on stage. That lost him the debate, honestly. The fly lost him the debate simply because of the memes. The last thing I want to talk about is fracking. I personally think fracking is terrible. Every scientist across the world thinks that fracking is terrible. However, very clearly, Biden and Kamala have come out and said they don't want to ban fracking. I mean, Trump and Pence keep throwing it at them, saying they do want to ban fracking. They've said it in the past. This whole debate is just because of Pennsylvania. Biden and Harris think, and I'm sure they know, I'm sure they're experts, I'm sure the experts that are working with them know that Pennsylvania is very key in this election. Clinton lost Pennsylvania in 2016, and I think a lot of it was because of fracking. There's a lot of business in Pennsylvania due to fracking, and Biden and Harris clearly do not want to lose Pennsylvania simply because of this. That is why they're saying they don't want to ban fracking, because it's integral to winning the election. There are people that do not care about the environment. They do not care about global warming. They care about their job, and their job is fracking. And they will simply vote to not get rid of it. And that's it. It comes down to that. They're not going to vote on all these different things. They care about whether or not they want their job still. And Pennsylvania was lost in 2016 by only 40,000 votes. And if Biden and Harris think they can gain an extra 10,000 votes by saying they're not going to ban fracking, they're going to do it because it's an integral swing state in the election. So, yes, I think fracking should be banned. Do I think they should come out and say it should be banned? I think they probably could. I think it doesn't matter at this point. I think people have made up their minds. I think they could say they're going to ban fracking and just keep going. I mean, Donald Trump's repealed 100 environmental regulations, clearly disregarding every scientist, every expert when it comes to climate change. So just being on the other side of that is all you need. You know, people either are going to side with you because you're pro-environment or because you don't care about the environment. And saying you want to support this Green New Deal but not ban fracking, come on. Do you support the environment or not? You can't be wishy-washy. I don't think it matters that much to say that you're not going to ban it. I don't think that you will actually change any voters' minds. But if they think it'll help, they're going to do it. So that's my full debate analysis. You know, Kamala won. She could have been more aggressive, but I understand her plan. Because she's a black woman, she can't be too aggressive. The media will rip her apart. Conservatives. I mean, the patriarchy is too strong right now. It's that simple. Like, misogyny, every man in America is misogynistic. You can't help it. You're brought up that way. Our culture has not changed enough away from the patriarchy. So she had to tone it down. She had to reel it in. She had to stick to just saying, "Excuse me, I'm speaking." Like, that's the farthest she could push it. Otherwise, people think this black woman's getting too uppity. And they can't be having that in this country. So I think she played it smart, even though that she could have been more aggressive. She stayed back for a reason. I think that Pence lost because the fly. I think Pence avoided every question. And that's it. So that's my analysis on the debate. I think it was good. It was enjoyable to watch. I mean, I was annoyed with Pence dodging every question. But besides that, it was much more refreshing to see the civility compared to the Trump-Biden debate. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Please leave a like. I really appreciate it. And I'll catch you next time. Thank you.